to Echo of God Ministries. We're so glad that you're joining us today. Today, I actually want to share a dream that the Lord gave me back in December. I do share this dream with regret now because we're already into August of 2020, and the Lord gave me this word in December 2019, exactly on the 31st of December, actually. But the reason why I hadn't shared it before was because we hadn't opened up our channel back then, and so that's the reason why I'm sharing it till today. But I've shared this with other men and women of God, and with the prayer warriors of our church and our pastors and our church's leaders. But today I want to share it with you. And so back in December, I had a dream, and in this dream, I walked into this church. But in my spirit, I knew that I was walking into the global church, and I saw people from all over the world, every nation, and every tribe. And the reason why I knew they were from every nation and every tribe was because their apparel, what they were wearing, their clothing, was according to their culture and their customs, and I just knew. And so as I walk in, the church was so packed that they had set up pews even on the sides of the church. So there were people facing the altar this way, and there was people that were standing this way on the sidelines of the church. And as I sat down, and I walked in, I sat down, I looked towards the entrance of the church, and I started to feel this presence, but this strange presence, because if you are a man or a woman of warfare, you know when it's God's presence, and you know when it's a strange presence. And so in the dream, I started to feel this strange presence, and I look, and when I look towards the entrance of the church, I see the spirit of death walking in. And as the spirit of death is walking in, the whole church, they don't even realize. They're distracted. They're worshiping, but they're distracted. They can't see the spirit of death. And I was the only one that could see it. And then all of a sudden, I looked towards the altar, and on the altar, there was thousands of people standing there. And so it was like this gigantic altar that was just like a stage. It was huge. And I see the spirit of death walking in, and it goes right to the stage. And with his hands, it goes like this. And when it did that, it made a huge hole on the ground. And I started to see people falling in that hole, and I knew people were dying, that the spirit of death had come into the church, and that thousands upon thousands of people were dying. And so people start shouting and screaming in fear, because it wasn't until they saw people dying that they realized that the spirit of death was there in the church. So I start running out, and when I run out of the church, I'm thinking that what I'm gonna find outside of those doors is the street, but it wasn't. I saw a stage, and I knew it was a stage in Hollywood, and I saw people like actors, actresses. I saw people that are famous. I saw them on the stage, and then the spirit of death went on their stage too, and they were like engaged with themselves and performing and singing and doing all these things. And then the spirit of death did the same thing, bang! And when it hit the stage, it created a huge hole. And again, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people started to fall in there, and people that were watching as well. Like they were almost like it would almost seem like they were there at an event, like a concert or something. Even those people started to die. And so the Lord spoke to me, and he said, Indira, the year 2020 will be a year where great giants of the faith, of the gospel, will pass away. And I knew when the Lord was telling me that the Lord was saying that men and women of God, men that have been, known around the world for their service to God's kingdom, were gonna die. And so, my pastor called me the other day, and he said to me, do you remember that word that the Lord gave you on December 31st? And I said to him, yes, I remember. And then he said to me, I was just talking to one of my colleagues on the phone from Mexico, one of, another pastor that serves in Mexico. And he told me that this pandemic, or, this virus has killed more than 300 pastors alone just in Mexico. Then he was speaking to another pastor in Nicaragua, and the pastor said, there are more than 100 pastors that have passed into the presence of the Lord. And so, I thought at that moment when I had that dream, that 2020 was going to be a great year of like disasters, natural disasters, and that's how death was going to come. Never did I imagine that it would come through this virus. Never did I imagine that it would be a pandemic that would take so many lives. And so I want to tell you, church, and I want to tell you, men of God, the Lord is taking his people. He's taking his people already. And the Lord spoke to me, and I didn't realize, like I didn't see this coming. Like I didn't think it would be like a virus. I didn't think it was gonna affect the whole world. But God speaks, and he speaks on time. He spoke to me exactly on December 31st, 2019. And so I tell you, church, we need to be attentive to the voice of the Lord. And that spirit of death that I saw, that spirit of death right now is moving all over the earth. And it's not just affecting the world, it's affecting the church. It's affecting men and women of God. We've seen in just alone in North America how many recognized pastors and missionaries, evangelists, they've gone on to the presence of the Lord. We need to be ready, because you don't know when it's going to be your day. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.